When Animal Crossing New Horizons launched in 2020, it completely changed how many of us played the game. The focus shifted toward creating the perfect island, and somewhere along the way, players started to get burnt out or discouraged if something didn't meet our expectations or if goals felt out of reach. So I asked myself this: what happens when you stop chasing the perfect island? After playing Animal Crossing for 100 days in the vanilla playstyle, meaning no time travel and no treasure islands, here's what I learned. On the first day, I chose my map. My only goal was to choose a layout different from my first island, Cosmic Rush, as well as keeping the original layout as intact as possible. I ended up choosing an island with double south-facing river mouths, and after arriving, I met my two new neighbors, Faith and Jay. I couldn't have asked for better starters, both who I was pretty unfamiliar with. Faith, the big sister koala with a tropical style, and Jay, a beautiful jock bird boy colored in jewel tones of gold, red, and blue. While flying over, I found peaches as the native fruit of the island, and as I explored further, I discovered windflowers in the mountains. Before the day ended, we worked together collecting branches, fruit, and named this deserted island now our new home, Sticker. Why did I choose the name Sticker? I was always enamored with kidcore islands and thought Sticker would make a cute and fun island name. Did I actually plan on building a kidcore island? Absolutely not. The name kind of just grew on me, and honestly, I didn't really have any other ideas. Naming your island can feel paralyzing when starting anew because it usually sets the tone or expectation for what an island will be. Personally, I try not to put too much weight into the name because I don't really know how the island will turn out in the end, and as someone who changes their mind a lot, I'd rather let the island evolve naturally than feel tied to a theme from day one. My advice: choose a name you really like and it'll feel natural over time. Anyways, it was a long day and it was time to call it a night. From then on, we go through what is known as the tutorial section of the game. In order to complete the tutorial, we need to achieve a 3-star rated island in order to get the attention of the famous KK Slider and have him hold a concert on Sticker. To do that, there were a few things that I needed to do. Have new villagers come live on the island, landscape by planting more flowers and trees and cleaning up the weeds, decorate the island using fencing and furniture, make getting around the island easier by adding inclines and bridges, and open the shops and the museum. Life is simple, goals are clear. What's interesting though is that all of these mechanics and activities that feel so refreshing at the start of the game don't really disappear after reaching 3 stars. They just get overshadowed as terraforming steals the spotlight, shifting the player's focus. As I continue to play, I learned to craft and create the necessary items for my first 3 villager homes, and that following week, I welcomed Jambette, our normal villager, Pango the peppy anteater, and Alfonso the lazy alligator to the island. Soon enough, resident services was finally constructed, and Isabel moves to the island to assist Tom Nook, who quickly tasked me with finding a location for the campsite. Following Mr. Nooks' marching orders, it wasn't long before I welcomed my first campsite villager, the smug hamster Graham, who I really loved. As the days passed, more villagers started to move in. During this time, I've traveled to other islands in attempts to find new villagers who would love Sticker, but to no success. There were plenty of villagers I wouldn't mind autofilling, but no one I'd personally invite to the island. So far, all of my subsequent villagers have autofilled in. Tipper moved in as my first snooty villager, and Buzz my first cranky. Looking back, I could have followed up with Isabel to see what improvements I could make for that 3-star rating, since you need at least 8 villagers to qualify. But I totally forgot and spent the next few days waiting for my last 2 villagers, Lopez and Daisy, to arrive on the island. Over the next couple of weeks, it's all about the life sim aspect of the series, how the real-time clock affects and dictates our day-to-day routines. Each day is spent visiting the beach in search of the washed-up DIY bottle, catching new fish or insects as we travel around the island, looking for dig spots and visiting blathers to assess our discoveries, chatting with our neighbors, watering our flowers and crops for the day, selling anything and everything we find to pay off our debt, or shop for new items at Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters. I'd spend my days doing all or just a few of these tasks, whatever I could get to with the time that I had. But it's these day-to-day simple boring tasks and everyday faces that I think make Animal Crossing such a comfy game. It's slow, predictable, and familiar. Days come and go, and after inquiring with Isabel about my current island rating, planting a few more flowers, and Tipper surprisingly asking to leave the island, it was time. I reached 3 stars in 23 real-time days. KK Slider finally visits Sticker, performed an awesome concert, thus completing the tutorial. The game now begins. From here on out, I've unlocked the remaining mechanics in New Horizons. The hotel, Captain's Islands, and Harv opening up a co-op. We finally have access to terraforming, allowing us to reshape the rivers and landscape however we'd like. With terraforming unlocked, the player now shifts their focus from everyday gameplay to island design and decorating. When it comes to overall design, I lean toward a playable, maximalist, lived-in style island. I prioritize where my neighbors will live, where the shops, museum, and campsites are located, and how to visit them easily. I don't know if you ever noticed this, or maybe it's so obvious that you don't really think about it, but most of Animal Crossing is simply getting from point A to point B. It's walking, it's wandering, roaming, strolling, gallivanting, traversing. Whatever you call it, you do it a lot in this game. Okay, so that's most games, but it's more evident because a lot of the gameplay is based on discovery and collection. To make my island more playable, placing the in-game paths is the easiest way to take the guesswork out regarding where to go and how to navigate the island as efficiently as possible. By playing every day up to this point, I had a pretty good idea as to where I traveled the most and where the quote-unquote dead zones on the island were. Dead zones are essentially areas of the island that I rarely visit and wouldn't naturally travel to unless there was a villager's home or building that would give me a reason to stop by. As for everything else in between, aka filler builds, I approach those at my own pace and work on them when I have ideas. When it was time to start designing the island, I realized the most challenging aspect was deciding where to place the buildings. I mentioned how pathing is one of the most important design elements you can add to your island, but pathing is only functional if it leads to places you want to go. And the buildings are essential because they are places that help the player progress further in the game, whether that's collecting items, clothes and recipes, making money, completing the museum, and building the infrastructure that will make it easier to travel around the island. So figuring out where these key buildings will live was the most important first step I needed to do before seriously decorating. Over several days, I decided on creating a riverside neighborhood where most of my villagers would live, and I played around with the amount of spacing needed to incorporate all the fencing, trees, and shrubs I could ever want. With the structure of how I wanted the villager homes laid out and decorated, I proceeded to tackle the front of the island from the entrance to the shopping district. When I initially started playing, I'd only ever really known how to decorate on Cosmic Rush, and those sensibilities did creep into Sticker. Realizing I was just recreating the only layout I ever really knew, I went a full 360 and started rearranging my island completely differently. Instead of traversing my island from south to north, I tried to move the player east to west. After moving my neighbors and the shops more or less where I'd like them to be, I tackled the next biggest project on the island, my farm. One of the biggest challenges in the game is funding all of the expensive infrastructure and, most importantly, your home for the necessary storage to put away collected items, clothing, and materials. In all the times I've played New Horizons, I found farming the easiest and most productive way of making money that lends itself to the daily vanilla playstyle. In order to gain the maximum amount of crops, I needed to water them every day. Some days I was better at remembering than others, but once the farm was fully planted, watered, and ready to harvest, I found I could earn just over 70,000 bells each time. With my new farm in place, I started saving more and more bells and decided it was time to focus on my island's infrastructure. Every few days, I started adding more bridges, making my island infinitely easier to travel around. As days went on and I continued playing, I realized what I liked in the layout and things I didn't. If there were spacing issues or something didn't turn out exactly the way I thought it would, I'd address them accordingly. This is the reason I don't really plan ahead regarding my island layout, especially if it's an island I want to play on. In the end, how I move around my island will dictate how I design it, and I won't know that if I don't play the game. On day 78, during a rainy, windy day, I came across a lily of the valley, indicating that my island had reached 5 stars. Exciting as that was, it was by no means the end of my playthrough. As I continued designing the island, I would still notice and appreciate all the cute interactions my neighbors did every day. Whether they be reading books on the bench, singing in the plaza, or fishing along the island rivers, there were no shortage of special moments of villager interactions and how much joy I received seeing them enjoy island life. As I came closer to the 100th day, I said goodbye to one of my favorite OG villagers, Jambette, and welcomed a new pop star, Annabelle. I also encountered my second golden tool recipe by popping the golden balloon. Now, even though my 100th day is a milestone, it's just one day out of many more days to come. As I'm writing this, well over 100 days, I'm still excited to boot up the game, anticipating what new items will arrive in the shops, DIYs I'll discover, and new villagers I'll see visiting the island. The island is far from being perfect, and there's still many more achievements I've yet to accomplish, and mechanics I barely explored, like exercising in the plaza, participating in the stock market, and writing letters to my villagers. So, what did I learn after playing for 100 days in New Horizons? The game is what you make of it. With the new terraforming mechanic, many players have used decorating and creating themed islands as their creative outlet. For others who need more excitement, doing challenges for a certain time period provides the motivation and engagement to keep playing the game. And I think a lot of players like myself who are looking to slow down and unwind, the everyday gameplay is just what we need to escape the more demanding pressures IRL. No matter how you choose to play, Animal Crossing has a way of meeting you where you are. It's a game that becomes whatever you need it to be, whenever you're ready to play. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. So, with 100 days in and long after, I'll continue to play as I've always done, and I hope you continue to play along while you work toward your own goals on your island. And if you made it this far and enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button, and if you want to see more videos on Animal Crossing, definitely subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate all of your support, and we'll talk soon.